Alright, I'm going to get started. Today we're going to be working on the styling menu, or the style in the calendar menu here. It's a little wacky right now, that's remnants from yesterday's work, so we're going to get started on turning this into a bootstrap based menu. Now these templates are buried down in the interface file pretty far into this calendar module. I think it's original navigation. Alright, so I'm thinking the best way to test if this is really the right file, because you see we've got the original navigation, got a couple other ones that could be used, is just to save that. I thought I set up the file watcher to trigger the build every time I saved. I just have to find it because maybe it's not working. Usually it pops up. Oh, that's why. Yeah, any file. Good. Alright. You can see it's triggering that build. Alright. Well, it should either be here in fancy navigation or original navigation, but I don't see it in either one of them. I can test by searching for this. I know this is the icon name. I don't see it. So I guess we keep on looking. Maybe there's a way to... Ajax Temple. Found it. So this is the template we're going to be working on. So basically what I've done is just included just the bootstrap CSS into the calendar header. It gets a little tricky when we start bringing in the bootstrap JavaScript or the standard template header. Let's see. So I just noticed this. Anchor tags can't have a type of button, and it looks like I'll have to search in the JavaScript to figure out how this is getting called, because we may be able to convert it to a button, or we just need to drop the type attribute. Just kind of depends. In the meantime, let's convert this. Oops. Where's the oops. What is going on? Oh, it's still running. There we go. I'm gonna wrap this in a group. Let's see if this has any particular styling. If not, maybe I can fix it. I want to look at the view picker. It's floating and a margin on the right. Okay. It's just a margin, and that's coming in the Ajax calendar. margin tag. Gonna add a helper text here. So if you're watching, you can tell I've gotten a little stuck. I'm getting a syntax error, but I just don't see it. I tried taking away the line error, which makes me think that it's actually on the line of before it. Okay. So it's definitely something right here. Let's see. So it looks like these buttons actually do need to be buttons, because it's maybe not. I'm not totally sure. I see what this form is doing. I'll have to keep working on that. I've been pretty quiet for this particular stream, and I think it's difficult to program and talk at the same time. But what I'm basically doing is trying to see if it's possible to restyle this top bar as an actual nav bar. I think it would look better. I just need to come in here and delete out, like, these shouldn't be styled as buttons if they're going to be part of the nav bar. So I think I mentioned this last time. A lot of programming is nothing super exciting. It's really just a matter of getting the mundane stuff done. And we're at a point in this particular modernization project where it's a lot of mundane work, because we're changing out semantics and syntax in preparation to move to a fully bootstrap based UI. So a lot of trial and error, seeing what works, what can we do now, what can we push off to more heavier changes. So I'll deal with the icons in a minute. This is navbar default, navbar, nav. I don't care about collapsing it right now. Okay. I don't understand why. Oh wait, that's why. Because it's not getting the font family. So I locked that helper into a button command, and I'm wondering if that's something we should change early before it gets included everywhere. I'll have to think about that. Okay, well, not sure why that. Maybe it's because I didn't wrap it right. Let me just lay out the example exactly like they do. No, but it shouldn't really make a difference, but... Oh, hold on. I guess it would help if I pulled this out, pulled that out, and then wrapped. A lot of times, like, this is a Smarty template page, and I'm not actively trying to change it. We're actually moving to a lot of our templates being twig based and dropping support for Smarty, and Smarty's not even really used throughout much of the program. So I don't most of the time like to get in and change this, but this just does not it's just so ridiculous to leave code like this in place. And that may not work. I may have to pull up the Smarty syntax guide and see. But like, there's no point in not fixing this because it's 2 lines. Can save me some it just improves readability to the point where I think it's worth doing the quick, real fast improvement. Get that relined back up. All right. And then I guess I should come here and reopen that PHP tag. I need to, what I want to do here, 1, 2, 3, some text, 4. Okay, so 4 inside of navbar nav. I think Emmet is one of my favorite plugins. It's probably sped up my development more than anything else. It's so nice to have the completion. If you haven't tried Emmet, I highly recommend it. It allows you to write the elements. So if I need a list element and I just hit tab, it converts it. But it's more powerful than that. You can add a class, an ID, you can add a data type. And then if you can multiply it out by 8 times, and you tab it out and you get that, which is significantly faster than trying to manually type all that out. It's so ingrained in my muscle memory at this point. If I don't have Emmet, it's a nightmare. One, two, so this is going to be the left arrow. Text, just to be sure. Okay. Huh. That's weird. Oh, I see. Okay. Just need to wrap this. Since I see it, I'm going to drop these span tags out. They have no place in this anchor tag. This is the right arrow. I need to let this continue so we can include This is why I just hate code that's written like this. Pull this up, Smarty. I mean, I don't understand why this isn't. I mean, it took me 2 seconds to pull up that, the syntax, and this is so much cleaner than what the mess that we were just in. I never did figure out earlier what that syntax error was referring to. I ended up just copying a different line and pasting in the proper values. I can get rid of that. It's how much simpler that is. It's easier to read. You don't have to think about, where am I echoing, where am I not. I don't remember who wrote this code. Back in 2006, though, I'm sure that there was a way back in 2006 to add a global function to Smarty. And in Twig, we actually wrote a function, so this would be, this would echo, that would echo the variable, and then we added a filter, so that'll actually translate the variable for you, which which is I think an easier read than having to do this, or not this, but this. But as it is right now, there's no way around that, so I'm going to move these out of here. Previous day looks good. Today, I guess we're coming back to here for a minute. Come out of here. This one is going to be a text only. Text. Navbar dash text. I think this can be inside of a UL or a list item. p.navbar text, and it's going to be, I'm going to call this date. I'm just going to I don't like making these kind of changes when I'm writing code that's supposed to be just like a modernization. Like this is just supposed to really be adding classes and maybe a little bit of semantics to get those classes working. I don't like rewriting code because then the pull requests and the reviews that we have to do, you're mixing things in, and it's not particularly good to do this. But I think that what I find is it's so difficult sometimes to track everything. You might as well just bite the bullet and do it. Just see out of curiosity if this is even getting me the results that I want. There's a typo here. It is definitely giving me the results that I want. I like it. A little bit more to do still, obviously. I don't like the way that this is lining up versus this text. And I still need to figure out, I gotta add the button class. I might change that. This didn't get date. That's what it was called, right? After today. It's interesting because it's defined there. It's like the rendering engine didn't make it to that part. That's not a big deal. I can look that up later. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's see if today works. Oops. Go back. I see what's wrong. The date should be here. right arrow. Oh, I found the problem. No? Empty tag. Okay. Left arrow. Today, right arrow. That's the next day, though. Where am I actually? This needs to be there. And this could actually be that. Well, I'd have to change some more stuff, but let's see. Syntax comparison. Not equal. Save that. And then I actually want to stop this. And what I want to do now is actually push the other ones to the right side. And that nav bar, nav bar right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 list item times 5. Okay, let's see. Awesome. That looks exactly the way I hoped it would. Obviously, I feel like maybe something's not working right with these buttons, but we can look at that. And this stuff still isn't working right. But overall, the functionality is there. I wonder why I've got this overlap, or not overlap, this extra margin, it looks like, would be my guess. Yep, the margin bottom. Oh, no. Okay, so some of that. Oh, this is saying that it's the form that's got padding now. That can't be right. Well, that's what it shows. What is this? This is the container. Well, I'll have to tinker with that. But I think even this is a step in the right direction. Could definitely make this work. Take a look at these buttons. Let me add a... I don't like that it's not lining up with this, but I don't see any reason, unless this link is being styled in some way that it shouldn't be, but I can't imagine that. And yet, I was wrong. And look at that, yep. Holdover from before. Take that out. So that'll fix that and that. Now I need to figure out why the today tag is putting up in the wrong spot. Search previous day, that's fine. Date is already... I wonder if I need to do this. I wonder if I just need to move this up. I bet I do. I bet that's why. Oops. Now bar the date. That makes sense that it was in the wrong place for at least some of this. Now bar text looks good. That looks good. Okay. Don't really have much time left today to dedicate to this. Take a look at the styling. that's fine. I don't see anything. Oh, I wonder, did I leave? I did. So I bet it's because if I look here on the left arrow, I have this non-breaking space character. Yep, and I don't have it on the right side, and that's causing a problem with the height. Yeah, because this isn't actually getting recognized somewhere in the DOM, because the way Font Awesome works, it's prepending. It's using the before pseudo class to add content, and I think, and that is what would cause the problem. But if we refresh now, that'll work. Yep. And so now all we're left with is figuring out why today is still in the wrong place, because it should be, well, today's in the wrong place because I'm putting it in the wrong place. So that's today. I'm going to move date up. But I still don't think this is going to work. I'm not totally sure. I wonder if you can't really assign variables like this. But where do I get this from then? I mean, that just looks like a regular variable assignment. Okay, well that solves the today problem. So then it's just, why isn't the parser recognizing this? Interesting. I may have to leave it there for now. I guess I could probably do this. And actually just wrap it like that. Well, that broke everything. What did I do wrong? Okay, so I don't really know what the date thing was, what was going on with the date, but if I can just drop that, that's got to stay because I'm using it down here. The last thing I wish I could do, and I'm really running out of time, is just get, I'd like to get this centered, because you've got the left, nav bar right. I doubt there's a nav bar center. CSS float. Well, no navbar center. I get that, and there's probably a way to put it together if we wanted to really truly center it. Because my guess is that it's just floating these. I bet that's all it does. And if it's all it does, then I can probably just build my own rows. Navbar nav right. Navbar nav, yeah, float. I mean, float right, yeah. So if I just did that. Alright, I think we may be able to make that work. Okay. I'll give it a shot real quick and then I'm going to have to call it a day. Paste. 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 Not holding my breath that this will work without at least a little bit of tinkering. We can always give it a try. That actually is better than I thought. I just forgot to pull in the arrows. So let me pull all of this in. Really the last thing I need to worry about, and I don't even need to do it right now, is just there's this a bit of space right here. Oh, I guess I need to okay. There we have it, but today is still not displaying properly. This is still not. Just out of curiosity. Because now it's asking in that line if the date equals today, but date is an undefined variable. Yeah. I don't know why date is not. I don't know why that's going on. So I'll have to look into that later. But for now, this is a solid change. And I guess what I could do, just as a proof, because I do need to go in and just refactor these. I don't know why I should have done this from the beginning. Add that. Search. At least I'm only doing this in core. I don't have to do this for every single style sheet. That would be ridiculous. It's interesting that PHP Storm thinks that was an Angular class. I'll have to get rid of that later. It's probably just an add-on I didn't take off. New appointment is icon. Add. Icon search. I think that's it. I mean, at this point, we might as well just be including the Font Awesome icon. But that may actually be the way we go, because then it would be easy, and I'm sure it's probably still easy this way, to write a icon. It would be easy enough to basically filter out any, and it'd be easy just the same either way. But if a user doesn't want icons, it'd be easy enough to create an option to let them to not display the icon if they want text only. Inversely, you could, I'm sure, style it so that you could do button or icons only. So because I'm short on time and we're effectively because we're effectively done, or at least ready to have somebody else take a look at this and test, I don't want to hold it up. Let me just out of curiosity, I probably say that 100 times a day. So new, okay, so that's not working. All right. And this needs some more styling just in general that I'm not going to do now. But this theme overall does. I don't want this nav bar on top to have the same or basically the same color as this. I want to differentiate this tab. Okay, except I added the wrong class name. Search. Nav bar default. That should work. Should work. No. Actually, I don't want to change just this. This is what I want to do. Border top, none. Important. Do that. And if this doesn't work, then I'll have to deal with it later. All right. Well, that's a bummer. Okay. So Smarty's got some issues going on, so this isn't quite ready yet. I bet none of these work. Oh gosh. So we get to do all this over again here. Maybe not. I think maybe I'll just pull the day view and paste it in. I'm not even sure why there's a different header for each month. I don't see anything different in the functionality, so I don't get that. Yeah, Smarty templates aren't working at all. Search is working though. I need to style that too. Gosh. That should really be a modal anyway. And go back. And new appointment doesn't do anything. So we're not quite there yet, but it's styled for sure. Refresh. No, refresh works. Print. Print works. Maybe. Interesting. I don't feel like... Why is this pink? I don't care. I don't do with printing. Alright. So that's going to wrap it up for the day. It's about an hour and a half of programming. Not as productive as I would have hoped. This shouldn't have taken an hour and a half. So just a few minor things left to do here, though. Figure out why Smarty wasn't pulling those variables, and it might just be you can't assign a variable inside of this PHP tag and then reference it later on. That's a definite possibility. On the other hand, I didn't touch this line of code, so this should be working. So there's probably some JavaScript stuff going on that I just need to take a look at. but overall, it pretty much looks the same. I mean, it is significantly different in terms of styling, but I feel like a lot of this is just, if you looked at the before and after, it would look like one, well, the button had a blue box and now it doesn't, so it must be the same thing. But sometimes, in like an instance like this, it can get a little bit more complicated. Other times, it really just is that easy. So, well, maybe I'll have an opportunity to code some more later and get this pull request up and done. Maybe I'll take some time and style this table or this calendar as well. And I had a pull request a long time ago. I don't even think I necessarily finished the functionality, but turn this into a nice big list, the provider list, with a arrow, or not an arrow, a check mark indicating whether it's visible or not. Maybe I'll get back to that. It shouldn't be too difficult to do. So I will leave it open. If you have any idea why Smarty doesn't want to cooperate with this date variable, leave a comment. Or if you just watched it, leave a comment, because I think there was like one person who tuned in. So, alright, until next time.